Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another fun project with Mr. Price. Now, these are things that I had laying around. I had a paper plate, I had a glue stick, a pair of scissors, of course my glue gun, and I found in a drawer these paper doilies right here. And they come in different sizes. So there's a large, a medium, a small, and an extra small. So you might have these laying around too. And what I did was, to get started, was I cut all the paper doilies in half. Now, if you don't have the paper doilies and you want to try something like this, you can simply take a piece of paper and just trace a circle, cut it out, and cut it down the middle. And then you can have half circles as well. Mine just happened to have the lace edging. But I would like to actually see what this looks like with a plain piece of paper. So I'm going to pan you down so you can see what I'm going to do. And at first I thought, I can make a wreath with this, or a tree or something. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then I was playing around with the shape, and a lot of kids ask how you make a nice cone. Okay, so to make a cone, you can take a half a circle, and when you bring the one side over to the other, that gives you a nice cone. That's kind of a hard shape for kids to figure out how to make. So this is a great project to practice making a cone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hot glue gun. But you certainly can use your glue stick for this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to glue all of my half circles into cones. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll show you the next step. Them over. All right, so I'm going to work with the paper plate, and I think what I'm going to do is take my cones. I'll start with the large ones. I ripped one here, but that's okay. Just hide it. And I'm going to start gluing it around the edge. And I'm going to put the side that has the seam on the paper plate. Wow, look at that already. Now I'll move into the smaller ones. Okay, so to do the center, I think what I'm going to do is make a cone. And I think I'm going to glue two cones together. Like so. Do you see how I glued these two back to back? Let me get into the camera. And I think what I'll do is I'll roll the tip where the cone is and just flatten it. Oh, let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. So I have the two cones, and I'm just gonna glue and smush to create a flat bottom. And I think I'm going to just put that right into the middle with a little bit of glue. So you can see it's really starting to take shape. And I think at this point it needs a little bit of color. So I'm going to look around and see what I find that I can use for color. Look how pretty that is within a minute. Just using a cone as my main shape and going around in a circular pattern, I was able to make a beautiful rosette. Maybe I can make a bunch of these for the wall of different sizes, and I can have beautiful roses coming off the wall. So I have to think about it, and when I come up with my next idea, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so boys and girls, I thought about what I'm going to do, and I had some extra doilies, so I went ahead and I made two more. So I was gonna spray paint these, as I said, but I figured I don't want it to smell. So I found some watercolor paint. As you know, I have lots of that. And I mixed some red and some white to give myself a tint of a pinky red. And I'm gonna use the dry brushing technique that I used in my watercolor unit. And I started to put the color onto the big flower, and you can see that it works great. Alright, so boys and girls, I came up with more of a grape purple, more of a red purple, but I think that's what color I'm shooting for, because I put a bit in the middle, and look how that made it look like you can really see the center of the flower. Okay, so you see how by putting that deeper color in, when I turn it, you can see how it makes it much more 3D. So I'm gonna take some greenery and put it in and see if I can create some sort of balance. I think it needs a complement color. And as I learned in my color wheel unit, red and green are complements. They're gonna look great together. All right, so I went outside and I found this beautiful branch by my porch. And I think I'm gonna take my glue stick, put some glue on the back, and I'm gonna anchor these down. But look at that. Look at how it's starting to come together. So I think what I need to do is I think I need to make my own leaves by painting some cardboard. I didn't have any cardboard, but I had some old boxes laying around. I always keep a box of stuff. And I think what I'm gonna do is just start chopping away. I want to make this a much more natural looking leaf. So let's see how that looks. I took a drop of green and a drop of black. Alright, so boys and girls, I cleaned off my tabletop here, and I have my project, and my leaves are almost dry, so I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm going to start to plop these on. Alright, so boys and girls, I really love how it looks. Let me show it to you. You can see how pretty that's starting to come together. And I found some extra fake flowers, and I found some burlap ribbon laying around. And I think that's going to be the added touch. So I'm going to pan you down. Oh, you can see I also added a couple more bigger leaves here. That's what I did off camera. And I'm just going to take some of these little flowers and just throw some on. All right, and I think the burlap ribbon, do I want to use this ribbon? How much is left? Oh, I can use that for something else. Let me toss it into my bin. I can put maybe a bow at the top of the ribbon. And kind of real natural, just fluff it out. You might have a colored ribbon at home, or, you know, you use what you have laying around. Just to match the other one, so there's the bow. And I'm gonna use the scrap piece. I'm gonna use the scrap piece. I'm gonna cut it down the middle. Cut it in half. All right, I'm gonna take some glue onto that piece, and I'm gonna just find where I think the middle is here. And I'm gonna use this piece underneath the bow to hold that all together. So that's gonna pinch that all in. And that's gonna give me a spot for my bow. A little bit of glue. All right, so boys and girls, now that I have the glue on the burlap, I think it's done. And I wanna show you what it's gonna look like on the wall. This is the painting that inspired my project. It is called Peonies, and it is by an artist named Edward Manet. This painting can be seen at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. So boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this project. I think it's important to see how a painting or another work of art by another artist can inspire you to try something on your own. So have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.